Good morning, and welcome to Winnipeg. Now, I was just noticing a moment ago, we might have ourselves a nice sunrise this morning. We'll see how it goes. If it's nice, we'll maybe attack it at the end of today's episode. We'll see. No use having my curtains open because it's still dark outside. And as I've said before, if I have my curtains open right now with all this light going on, you know how I am big on light. Yeah, it looks all lit up in here, and anybody that doesn't know what's going on, they drive by and think, whoa, what's happening there? Anyway, okay, now, yesterday I was saying something about I'm going to see if I can find any drawings or pictures in Stefan's book. And I found a couple of drawings. But somebody by the name of Martin, who lives on, I believe, the Isle of Wight, sent a couple of actual photos of this fire director control. And, well, what Trumpeter is trying to depict here is you can see there is some sort of semblance of similarity going on there. But there's a lot of stuff missing off of our little part. But then on the other hand, if they tried to put absolutely every little detail that fire director control has into this part here, I don't think a person could do it. Maybe the type of person that has the ability to carve on the head of a pin some big long thing, if you know what I mean. Like the 10 Commandments. I think I saw once where somebody had carved on the head of the pin the 10 Commandments. You know, thou shalt not carve on the head of a pin, etc., etc. Anyway, okay, and enough foolishness here. Let's move on. And I'm still. Well, first let's just bend our little bracket that's supposed to hold this thing up. Let's sort of bend it into shape and just see how wide it is, and then maybe we can see, are we going to be able to possibly fit this in between instead of onto? If we could fit it in between, and I'll show you what I mean, then it'll make it a lot easier to solder it together. My concern is that, yes, I'll get it soldered together, but then when I try to solder or attach, well, I guess it would be soldering the bracket that holds it up, like the stand part of it, which, by the way, doesn't really look a whole lot like what we've got going on here with Trumpeter. At least not that I can see. It's, yeah, well, we'll just do the best we can. It'd be nice if we only had to make one of these, but after I'm through with this one, I gotta make 3 more. Well, I'll do it off camera and try and do it sort of in a mass production type way. It might go pretty good. And I think that once this thing is sprayed, with painted, and I guess we'll probably be painting it, I guess it'll probably be the 19. I'd like to, if possible, though, have the antenna a slightly darker gray, like the 66. And that way it sort of will stand out a bit, but I don't know how I'm going to be able to do that if I'm going to mount it on top of the turret. It's possible that I might be able to paint it separately and then glue it on the top of the turret after both those two pieces are sprayed. Once again, I'm sort of thinking out loud here. Okay, let's recompose and see what we can do. Now, as it turns out, this morning's sunrise was actually quite acceptable. And what I did was I sped it up about 60 times. And it runs for, oh, I'm guessing a couple of minutes altogether. And yes, we do get to see the walkers. Now, California Paul mentioned that what he did with his was he bent it at the folding line first, and then bent the antenna into shape. So I'm probably going to try that with the next one. But I also will probably be doing the other three. Like, we have to make 4 of these, right? So I'll probably be doing the other 3 off camera. But I'll let you know how it goes. Okay, now we're going to want to bend this. Maybe what I should do is we'll bend this one here first. It's always kind of hard to know. Okay. Now I realize I'm not zoomed in quite as close as I usually am, but I think you should be able to see this. Or at least you can envision what's probably happening if it goes out of sight, which apparently it is. I could probably just do it with my finger, right? Now, I hope I didn't wreck anything there by using my finger. I don't think I did. No, I can see it bent okay. Now this one here, I think we should be able to just clamp it down and just go right up and over, and this part right here should, I would think, clear this thing. I may not need to use it wants to naturally bend at the folding line, so we're okay there. Oh, no, we're catching here. No, I hope I didn't, right there where I'm touching, I'm hoping I didn't bend it kind of in the wrong place, if you know what I mean. Okay, let's get it out of there and see size-wise how is it going to fit on this piece here. Are we going to be able to sort of wedge this in? Maybe if I close this up just a little bit here, make it a little bit tighter, and then try and wedge this into place here. I may have to do this off camera, but I think you can probably envision what it is that I'm trying to do here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do this off camera. Sorry, folks. Okay, here is what I want to try to do. Now, at first I thought, what I'll do is I'll get it so that I'll use one of Gabe's swabs here to point, so that I'll get 2 of the, like one side on, and then I'll solder it. But I was finding that I couldn't even get all, like this one and this one more or less in place at the same time. Now this one is almost in place. That little screen thing, it could maybe come out a fraction of a millimeter. I don't know if I dare try to move it or not, but my thinking is if I put a little bit of solder flux right there on this part right here, and then allow the solder to wick off of my soldering iron, and get this one in place, then get this one in place, then flip the whole thing over and do the same thing on the other side. Now that's the plan, and it may not work, but I'm going to give it a try here. But first I'm going to just see if it's possible for me to maybe get this screen a little bit more out this way, because it's I believe that the edge of this screen should actually be at where the tip of this arm is that I'm just touching right now. Okay, this one here is pretty much where I want it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of solder paste here and try and put it on here without knocking it apart. And I think I'm getting it on there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got some on there. No, I don't want to be putting too much on, because then what could happen is the solder could just run right down and fill in the grating, if you know what I mean. Okay, I'll get our soldering iron plugged in here. I'm glad that it heats up quickly. Okay, what I'm doing now is I'm putting a little bit of solder on the tip of the soldering iron here. It doesn't want to melt. Oh, here we go. Okay, now what's going to happen here? I think that's soldered together. Let me look in the monitor. Should I try and put a little bit more on maybe? Or am I just being a moron? Okay, let's just let that cool. It's probably about as strong as it's going to get right now. Now the idea is that I should be able to manipulate this one on the other side. Okay, let's unplug everything and get it straightened out there. Now this is not the order in which I had wanted these to go. Okay, let's see if I can straighten this one just a little bit here and do the same thing. Now, unless you've actually done a little piece like this, you can't appreciate how delicate everything is. It's just unbelievably easily bent the wrong way. Okay, this is the last one. Now, needless to say, I'm not going to put all of that on there. I just want to moisten it a little bit. That should be good. And there should still be enough solder on the tip here to do this. Okay, now remember, folks, for perspective's sake, okay? For perspective's sake. Okay, here's my thinking on this thing now. I'm leaving my soldering stuff out because we are going to be needing it. See if we can turn this. See this little tab that I'm just almost grabbing onto right now? You see that folding line there? Now, I want to fold this tab up. Just let me grab a hold of this. Now this unit has to be at an angle like this. So we're going to have to bend this tab. I didn't quite grab it right. I'm going to have to grab it off camera. I'm sorry. Oops. I had it straight and then I went and I bumped it. Okay, now what I want to do now is pretend that I am Andy's photo etch bender. Just bend this over like this. Okay, now we might have to tweak it later. Now the idea is that the base for this that we're going to bend out of that very, very delicate little spider-legged thing is got to be soldered onto that flat part that we just bent. And then the whole thing will sit on top of the turret, which will be right underneath. Well, you can envision it. I don't need to explain everything. Okay, I think we should take a little bit of a break here and do something just a little bit different, but model table related. Okay, here we are at the new model table. I told you it was going to be model table related. All right, now here's the thing. I was wondering, those 12 light bulbs that are over my head, which are not plugged in yet. They say they are 14 watts each. Well, there's 12 of them. And I think 12 times 14 is about 168. And how can we tell if they are 14 watt light bulbs? Well, this is a volt it's an ammeter, voltmeter, wattmeter. But I think right now it's set so that when you plug this in here, let's just try it here. Okay. Now, I'm pretty sure that when we plug our overhead lights into this, it should tell us how many watts. And I haven't tried it yet. You're going to see it along with me for the first time. I'm going to move you in. Oh, one more thing. Remember, I was mentioning about a small monitor that I bought about 8 or 10 years ago. I got this monitor. I forget why it was. I thought I needed it, but I got it for when I had my D800, my first good Nikon. And for those of you who are camera buffs, I've had started out with the 800, then I upgraded to the 810 because it would record in stereo. Then I upgraded to the 850, which I've still got in the other room there, and because it would do 4K. And now, of course, I've got the Z9, which will do 8K. When will it ever stop, right? Okay, let's recompose here, and hopefully you're going to be able to read the screen on that. I'm noticing it's pretty dark. We'll see what happens. I imagine it should be clearer when we plug it in, right? I mean, that's the whole idea. Okay, let me recompose. I'm going to change the plug on this. I'm not happy with this plug. For some reason, it seems to be difficult to get it into the socket. All right. Well, that's pretty close. 147. Yeah, 147, 48 watts. And what did I say? It should be 168? I should check. Maybe one of my bulbs isn't on. No, all 12 are going. Gee, I shouldn't have looked at them. Now I can't see anything. Okay, anyway, wasn't that fun? Okay, we are back at the real model table. And I suppose I really should be putting the lid back on that. Well, I will in a second. But we've got a couple of more pieces here that we gotta get here and solder in place. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that today yet or not. But we gotta do one of these things. This should be easy to bend into shape. And then we got to do one of these oval-shaped things. Okay, I'm going to just leave the oval-shaped thing in the tin because we're not going to put it on last. It's going to be a really precarious little thing to solder on. Okay, let's. Okay, I don't think we fold these legs all the way over to make like a square box or anything. I think it. So let me check the manual. Actually, maybe what I should do is. Grab one of these turrets here and see if we can see where on the top we are supposed to fasten this thing to. What do I do with my manual? Okay, I'm just going to steady this thing here and recompose and put the lid on. Okay, I think I can see what's supposed to happen here, and I can see it without even putting the macro lens on. You notice on the top of the turret, there's a little mark right there, a little indentation, like a little dimple. little square dimple, actually, if you look really close. And if you'll notice on the ends of these arms right here, let's move this out of the way a little bit. If I can turn this so that the light will catch it. I don't know if I'm making it better or worse for you. But it looks like this last little, I would say less than half a millimeter, probably bends out just a little bit and fits into, move this a little closer. Okay, and it fits into these little square holes. If I study the manual, it appears that these ones here, these legs and these legs, they fold perpendicular to this platform. But because they're a lot shorter than these legs, well, I think you can see what's going to happen here. Okay, let me just turn this over. There must be folding lines on the other side. You know, I can see folding lines right here. You should be able to see it even without the macro lens. At least I can. Maybe the light's hitting it really good for me. Okay, let's just turn this over. Oh, Ron. There we go. Okay. All right. So it looks to me like we would fold this up this way, probably about 45 degrees, this up about 45 degrees, and these ones here, 90 degrees. And we'll do the 90-degree ones first. And may as well take advantage of Andy's bender here. Now this is not 100% straight. I haven't tried to straighten it yet. If the angle, if you see it at just the right angle, you can see that it's a little bit battle damaged, you might say. But actually, this has come out not too bad. Yeah, it's come out not too bad. Might have to bend that tab just a little bit more. Well, we'll do that when we solder it. As near as I can tell, this tab here, get this turned around. This tab right here gets soldered onto here. Or CA'd, you know, we could maybe CA it, because there's such a large area there that, you know, it's not like a real tiny little area that would easily break. Now these solder joints, they are so strong that if I was to try and break them, it would rip the metal apart. It wouldn't actually break at the solder joint. This one right here, I should maybe try and sand that off there. I don't know if you can see that. There's a bit of a part of the prong is sticking out. You know, it would have been nicer if this screen had been just a tiny bit more this way. Now we were going to do the short ones first, weren't we? And we're going to... This is going to be really hard to fold. You know, I can tell right now that what's going to happen. Okay, we're going to want this to fold at the folding line, right? But it's not going to. It's going to bend. I'll bet you anything it's going to bend right where these parts here fasten onto the bar that's supposed to fold up. I can't see any way that I can possibly do that. I don't think Andy's photo etch bender is sharp enough on the breaker bar nose that it will actually allow that to happen. And I don't know if the Tamiya pliers are kind of rounded as well. What I need is something that is really sharp, that would allow me to grab right onto that edge of that really thin little piece that you can see right here. And the same on the other side. I know I'm kind of thinking out loud again, just sort of wondering how to go about this. I should have this figured out before I push the red button, right? Okay, I'm going to do something here that I normally say I don't want to be doing, and that is I want to push this in maybe just a little further than I normally do. And I'm looking straight down on it now. And I think that if I was to clamp down on this right now, part of the breaker bar might catch on this very little short edge. Try and move it just a little bit more there. Okay, now I think I got it. Just let me check the monitor. You can see it better than I can. Well, it's a little bit iffy there, isn't it? Okay, we'll take our razor blade here and put it underneath. Okay, now hopefully it's going to bend on the line. I can feel it kind of binding there. I don't want to accidentally break it. Maybe I'm just a little bit too far under. Pull it out just a little bit here. Oh, release a little more. Okay, clamp it down. Maybe what I'll do is I'll just push on the bottom of the plate here. I can sort of feel the resistance. Well, the die is cast. It's 90 degrees now. But did it bend in the right place? Let's have a little look here. Yeah, it kind of did. Okay, maybe if we can get this other one started, I won't be able to go all the way up because this is in the way. Maybe that's just a bit too far. Okay, I think that's it. Once again, I'm just going to use get underneath the plate and bend it this way. That's pretty stiff. That's pretty stiff. It's going to bend on me in the wrong place. I just realized I don't even have the right glasses on. I'll go like this. Okay, and the rest of it we're just going to have to take it out. Okay, and we'll hold it down. Let's see here. Hold it down with something. Yeah, there's probably a way to use this bender and be able to do this. Oh, I'm blocking your view, aren't I? Hey, how would it be if I was to just sort of squeeze it with it? I'll get my my flat nose tweezers. Okay. I'll try and turn it so you can see what's going to happen here. And if I push down and try and it springs back, doesn't it? All right, you know what? I'm going to put my photo etch bender on here. Will it fit or is it too big? No, I think it'll work. Go like that. How does that look? Does that look square? Yeah, it's not bad at all. Okay, now these other ones, these triangular shaped ones, they only have to go up about 45 degrees so that when this piece is like this, oh, this is so delicate. Yeah, these just have to come down and touch right there because the top of the turret is flat. Okay, I don't know if I can do this right here, right now or not. No, I'm going to have to, if we want it to bend at the line, and not at the before the line, I'm going to have to get it started somehow. Can I use Andy's bender, or no, we can't. We can't use the bender anymore. Yeah, we can't use the bender anymore. Maybe just a tiny little bit. I'm going to have to do this off camera. I'm going to maybe use my tweezers here instead of a combination of my tweezers and the photo edge plier. Okay, we'll see you in a few minutes here. Okay, I think I've got it figured out here. I'm not going to use the photo edge plier. I'm just going to use the tweezers, and I can't really show you how I'm doing it because I'm going to be moving it around and twisting it around. So there's no use putting on the macro lens because it'll be going all over the place except where it's supposed to be. So I feel very, very fortunate and grateful, you might say, that my hands are still steady most of the time. Sometimes they're not, but right now they seem to be exceptionally steady. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm holding it like this, and I've got the edge of the tweezer right on the folding line. And I'm going to push this over and get it started. I'm squeezing together here. Now it does appear to be bending. Now I can't go right over because those pieces that we bent over earlier are sort of in the way. Maybe if I could just grab it like that. Okay, now it doesn't have to go too far. I'll swing it around, and I'm going to do the other side now. I'm trying to do this on camera, but I realize that you're not going to be able to see it. Okay, squeeze hard and go slow so that if something bad starts happening, you might have the opportunity to see it. Okay, how does that look? It's got to go a little bit more yet. I wonder if I've got a pair of tweezers that is halfway between this and pointy. Maybe they could get in there. Yeah, just hang on a second here. Let me put this down so I don't lose it. And the other ones are right here. You know, I could probably make a pair of tweezers that would be just right. Now I'm going to have to squeeze this pretty hard. How's that look? That looks just about right. Now I'm going to just turn this around and grab onto the other side. Okay, I've got it like this, and I'm going to squeeze hard and bend a little bit more. You know, that looks pretty good. We'll stick the macro lens on and have a bit of a look here. Put it down on Andy's bender here. Whoops, not upside down. Right side up. Oh, it won't stay right side up. I wonder if maybe, could that be because I've got these just a little bit too bent maybe? There we go. Okay. Okay, now we still have to bend the end right here. You can see where it's supposed to bend so that it'll be sort of flat, so that it'll fit into this spot right here. So the idea is that this is supposed to go on here, like so. I think we can make this work. Not necessarily on camera though, right? And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to CA. So let me move this back a little bit. I'm going to probably CA this flat tab onto that flat base. Okay. Now, that's sort of good news, and the reason it's good news is because, do you remember I was saying that I had kind of hoped that I would be able to paint this thing the 66 instead of the 19 like the turret's going to be? Well, if I'm going to be CAing it on later, you know, we can glue this stand the other way up, of course, but it fits better that way. And you know, we can glue this on, and it can be the 19, but the rest of this will be the 66. At least that's the plan for right now. Okay, you know, I'm going to wind it up today. Thanks for watching, everybody, and all being well, we'll be seeing you tomorrow.